Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're looking at chapters 14 and 15 of Srimad Bhagavatam Puran, and wanted to seek the blessings of Gurudev. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Krishna Das Swami Niti Namane. Krishna Prabhupada, Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachari Nirvisha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshani. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So I wanted to seek good wishes and blessings of all the devotees present as well, so that we can continue with this overview of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a verse, a wonderful verse actually, extraordinary verse, one of the most extraordinary verses in the Bhagavad Puran, text number 8 of this chapter 14.
Nukampam sushamikshmano punjana evatma kitam vipakam idvagvapubi vidadan namaste jive tayomukti pade sadayabhak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim.
Classic verse. One who waits suffers the karma patiently. What choice do we have but to suffer the karma patiently? Offering the Lord humble respects with his heart, words, and body. Sometimes get in the mood of, oh, this karma, it's the Lord's fault or somebody's fault. But if we just suffer in silence and offer our respectful obeisances to the Lord, then we have this right, the rightful claim for liberation. This is really phenomenal prayer. Really, really phenomenal prayer. Just waiting for the causeless mercy of the Lord. All right. So this chapter is Lord Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. So yesterday we saw how Lord Brahma kidnapped the cowherd boys. And today we are going to see his prayers after Krishna humbled him. For his Krishna's satisfaction, Lord Brahma first praised the beauty of the Lord's transcendental form. Your transcendental form is a dark hue like a new rain cloud. Your garments are brilliant like lightning. The beauty of your face is enhanced by a gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, equipped with a herding stick, buffalo horn, and flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. This is incredible description of the Lord. Those who are, even while remaining situated in the established social positions, if they throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with their body, words, and mind, offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, certainly conquer your lordship. So it doesn't take much to conquer the Lord. In time, philosophers or scientists may be able to count all the Earth's atoms, the particles of snow, or shining molecules radiating from the sun, stars, and other luminaries. But amongst these learned men, who can possibly count your unlimited transcendental qualities? This is really a contradiction in itself. We can understand the Lord simply, but actually it's impossible to understand his transcendental qualities. Even great scientists won't be able to do it. But of course, it's not a contradiction at all, because the reconciling item is bhakti. If we do in devotional service, then it's possible to conquer the Lord. Then he asked for forgiveness. One who hopes against hope for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him. So this is the verse that we did. While patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, offering you respectful obeisances within the heart, words and body and mind, it should be, is surely eligible for liberation. Oh, infallible Lord, kindly excuse my offenses. I have taken birth in the mode of passion. I'm therefore simply foolish, presuming myself a controller independent of your lordship. And this is a supreme living entity in this material world. Lord Brahma is the topmost living entity. Yet, what is he saying about himself? I am presuming I am a controller, independent of your lordship. What am I compared to you? I am just a small speck in the presence of a great fire. O Lord Adokshaj, does a mother take offense when the child within the womb kicks with his legs? Are you not the original Ryan, my father, who has given me birth? So he's asking for forgiveness, and in a really nice way. Although you are now within this universe, the whole creation is within your transcendental body. This is a fact you proved by exhibiting the universe within your abdomen before your mother. Just as this entire universe, including you, was exhibited within your abdomen, so it is now manifested here externally in the exact same form. This is your inconceivable power. First, you appeared alone. Then you manifested yourself as all the Vrindavan's calves and cowherd boys, your friends. Next, you appeared as an equal number of four-handed Vishnu forms who were worshipped by all living beings, including me. And after that, again, you appeared as an equal number of complete universes. So this is all what he manifested in this short period of time. And finally, you returned to your unlimited form as the supreme absolute truth, one without a second. So first he was on his own Krishna, then he expanded himself as the calves and the cowboys. Then when Brahma came and God was illusioned, he showed him the Vishnu forms. He also showed him somewhat the universal form as well, of not just one universal form, all the complete universes, forms for the universes. So that's quite extraordinary. And then he showed him again his original two-handed form. Yes, Raniman.
Yes, Prabhuji, this Narayan which is mentioned, is it same as two questions I got? One is about Narayan. Is it same as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu?
Yes,
Because
that's right.
Yes, okay.
Yes, that's correct.
And whenever Narayan is mentioned, does it always mean that?
It can mean any of the three Vishnus. Nara is a living entity. Narayan, the last part, Narayan, is water. He who lies on the water.
Okay.
And all of them do that.
Oh, yes.
So it can be any, but the one he's referring to is directly his the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from whom the lotus stemmed, and Brahma appeared on top of that lotus.
So Nar means the human being, the male, and the Ayan means water. Is it?
Yeah. Lying down, bed still.
Lying down in water.
Yeah, that's right.
Bed of water, rather. Okay.
That's right.
And my other questions about the Adokshaj. What does it mean? I know it's one of the name of the lords, but I don't understand its meaning.
Yeah, we'll have a look. I can't remember what it means.
Later on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But our spiritual master has given this name to one of the disciples, Adokshaj.
Yes.
Very interesting. Yeah, we can just check it out. Very good. Thank you for that question. Very good.
Okay.
It's good that way. We also learn because I can't remember what that is myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Adokshaj. Anybody know? Just as a curiosity, if anybody knows. Okay, we'll look it up anyway. Brahma then glorified the inconceivable opulence of the personality of Godhead and described the ways in which Brahma and Shiva differ from Vishnu, the reason for the Supreme Lord's appearance in various species of demigods, animals, and so on, the eternal nature of the pastimes of this personality of Godhead, and the temporality of the material world. So he said something like this: for the creation of the universe, you appear as me, Brahma. For its maintenance, you appear as yourself, Vishnu. For its annihilation, you appear as Lord Shiva. You have no birth, material birth, yet to defeat the false pride of the faithless demons, and show mercy to your saintly devotees. You take birth among the demigods, sages, human beings, animals, even aquatics. You are the one supreme Lord, the primeval supreme personality, the absolute truth, indestructible nectar of immortality. So Lord Brahma's prayers are really powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adoksaj means
So let me just do this.
okay.
By knowing the supreme personality in truth, the individual spirit soul can achieve liberation from bondage. In actuality, however, both liberation and bondage are unreal. For it is only from the living entity's conditioned outlook that his bondage and liberation are produced. Actually, our position is that we are always the spirit soul connected with the supreme spirit soul. But because we are in this conditioned state of, in this material world, we are making the distinction between bondage and liberation. Thinking the personal form of Lord Krishna illusory, fools reject his lotus feet and look elsewhere to find the supreme self. But the futility of their search is the obvious proof of their foolishness. There is simply no way to understand the truth of the personality of God without his mercy. So that's the thing we need the most, his daya. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so one meaning of Adoksaj is the Lord who is beyond our cognition and perception of the material senses.
So it's beyond our, we cannot understand it, basically, because we try to understand the Lord with our material senses. So Adoksaj means one who is beyond the material senses, the ability to understand.
Yeah, material.
Okay.
With
The
material senses.
ability to understand by material senses, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Good, thank you, Naiman. The saintly devotees seek you out within their own bodies by rejecting everything separate from you. My Lord, if one is favored by a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. So it's possible that one can be a very great scholar and understand and know the Vedas, but if we don't have the favor of the Supreme Lord, his mercy, even you study the Vedas, may miss him completely. He's not that easy to find, even in the Vedas. Having established this conclusion, Lord Brahma analyzed the good fortune of the residents of Braj, Vrindavan. Then he personally prayed to be born here, even as a blade of grass, a bush, or a creeper. My dear Lord, I therefore pray to be so fortunate that in this life as Brahma, or in the next life, or in another life, wherever I take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take my birth in this forest of Gokul and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. This is a very powerful prayer. And this shows the great blessing of being a Brijbasi, no matter what form one has, to be born in Vrindavan and living in Vrindavan. Indeed, the homes of the residents of Vrindavan are not prisons of material existence, but rather abodes envied even by Gyanis and Yogis. On the other hand, any home without a connection to Lord Krishna is in fact a prison cell of material existence. So we may have a very opulent home, lots of family and friends and cars and this and that, but it's nothing more than a prison house in this world. So then he offers his obeisances. You are the knower and seer of all things. Indeed, you are the Lord of all the universes. And yet I offer this one universe unto you. Finally, Brahma offers his own self at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord and praises him again and again. circumambulating him and taking his leave. So this is the humbling of Lord Brahma. After Lord Brahma left, Lord Krishna gathered the animals that Brahma stole, the calves, and led them to the place on the Yamuna's bank where the cowherd boys had been taking lunch. The same friends who had been present before were sitting there now. Although the boys had passed an entire year apart from the Lord, by the power of Krishna's illusionary energy, they were not at all aware of what had happened. Thus, when Krishna arrived with the calves, the boys told him, "You returned so quickly. Very good. As long as you were gone, we couldn't take even a morsel of food, so come and eat." So laughing at the words of the cowherd boys, Lord Krishna began taking his meal in their company. While eating, Krishna pointed out to his friends the skin of the python. This is Aghasur, who they had killed a year before. And the boys thought, Krishna has just now killed this terrible snake. Indeed, later they related to the residents of Vrindavan the incident of Krishna's killing the Aghav demon. In this way, the cowherd boys described pastimes that Lord Krishna had performed in his Balya age 1 to 5, even though his Pauganda age 6 to 10 had begun. So, final part of this chapter, Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami why the cowherd men love Krishna more than their own sons. It's a really intelligent question. How is that possible? That they can love Krishna more than their own children. And similarly, the cows, they can love their Krishna more than the calves. Sukadeva Goswami replied that the self is the dearmost for all beings. The embodied soul is self-centered. He's more attracted to his own body and self than to his so-called possessions like children, wealth, and home. Ultimately, that must be the case. Even we may have children, wealth, and home, but our own bodies are always going to be more. If our body is aching anywhere, we will certainly feel that and want to try to cure that at any expense. If a person comes to the stage of considering the body mine instead of me, so that's a very important distinction. If we think the body is mine, that means it belongs to something. Whereas if we think I am the body, me, then we've got a problem. This body belongs to something. It belongs to the self. The self is in control of it to a certain degree. That person, he will certainly not consider the body as dear as his own self. So the self is always more dear than the body. If we can understand that this body is material, I just have it for my use for the time being. After all, even as the body is growing old and useless, one's desire to continue living remains strong. So that's a fact, right? Even the body gets ill, the desire is still there to enjoy. However, the spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna. For this reason, Krishna is very dear to every living entity. Krishna is the dearmost because he is the original soul of all living entities. So we are connected with Krishna. He is our ultimate father. We've just forgotten it. And that's why if somehow or other we can connect to him, then everything else becomes irrelevant. Shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. For those who have, this is another classic verse. This is in this chapter. I think it's text number 56 itself. For those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation, is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon. The ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. Calf's hoof print, very small, but the ocean is huge. Their goal is Parampadam, Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. Classic verse. Any person who hears or chants these pastimes of Lord Murari who Lord Murari performed with his cowherd friends, the killing of Aghasur, taking of lunch on the forest grass, the Lord's manifestation of transcendental forms, and the wonderful prayers offered by Lord Brahma is sure to achieve all his spiritual desires. This is important. We should have good spiritual desires. Material desires, unfortunately, also get fulfilled, and that's dangerous. In this way, the boys spent their childhood in the land of Vrindavan, playing hide and seek, hide and seek, playing, building play bridges, jumping about like the monkeys, and engaging in many other games. His original identity of sweetness is even more difficult to comprehend than his opulence, because you don't expect the Lord to be sweet. He's expected to be opulent and magnificent, but he's also sweet. Only by the devotional process of hearing and chanting transcendental sounds received from Vedic authorities can one realize the personality of Godhead. So in this way, Sri Krishna, along with his brother, elder brother Balaram, passed the childhood age known as Komar and stepped into the age of Pauganda from the 6th year up to the 10th. So they used to enjoy playing with the Gopas as well and the Gomatas. Any questions? That's the end of chapter 14.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Naliman.
will be the Mura demon will be coming to that story later on?
No, we don't really go into that.
Yeah, you're right, because it's already
Mura
Mura.
demon.
No, it doesn't ring a bell actually,
No,
but
we don't.
it doesn't come.
So it's probably not, it's a story, but not in the Bhagavatam so far.
Mura was the Lord who was that not Ekadashi related? Anyway, we'll have a look. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mura was a demon, you know.
Oh, yes. Actually, there's a Lord and there's a demon as well. Yeah.
Mura is a demon.
Oh, yeah. Mura is the demon. Murari is the killer of the demon. Yes.
Yeah.
So that Mura, do you remember, Sitaram, what the pastime was?
Oh, it's not in my mind, but okay. I have read
I think it's related to Ekadashi, but I might be wrong. Anyway, Jayanti is looking. Our oracle is looking.
Krishna kills us, Mura, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lord Krishna killed him. And
Yeah.
from days before, I was just reading
Big
somewhere.
snake attacking Garud.
He was a big snake attacking Garud, says our oracle, the Google.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have a look at that and see if it's in the scriptures, in the Bhagavatam. So.
Can I read this verse?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my goodness, let me try. Bhagavatam 10:15.19. Evam nigutatma gatiha swamayaya gopatamaj tvam charite vidama bayan reme rama lalita pada pallavo gramayeha samam gramya vada isha chetitaha. Translation. In this way, the Supreme Lord, whose soft lotus feet are personally attended by the goddess of fortune, concealed his transcendental opulences by his internal potency and acted like the son of a cowherd. Yet even while enjoying like a village boy in the company of the other village residents, he often exhibited feats only God could perform. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading this. Go on. Jayanti can do it in a different way. Let's see if we can work. See if we got. Karuna has taught us this wonderful tune. Come on.
Okay, let's.
Evam niguatma gati swamayaya gopatma jatvam charita vidabhayam remera malalita pad palavo gramye samam gramyavat isha chestitaha.
Very nice.
Yeah. When you got the tune, then it makes it a little easier.
Yes, very
I
nice.
can never remember the tunes, but it's good. Good.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, well done, Anivan. So, chapter 15, the killing of Dhenukasura. This chapter describes Balaram and Krishna tending the cows, not the calves, the cows, and then the killing of Dhenukasura, and how the residents of Vrindavan got the privilege of eating this fruit from the tala tree, and how he also saved the cowherd boys from Kaliya's poison. So Krishna tends cows. When Krishna and Balaram attained the age of Pauganda, 6 to 10, the cowherd men allowed them to begin tending the cows. Thus Lord Madhav, sounding his flute, surrounded by cowherd boys, accompanied by Baladev, kept the cows before him and entered the Vrindavan forest, seeing the forest which resounded with the charming sounds of bees, animals, and birds, and which was enhanced by a clear water lake with a breeze carrying the fragrance of 100-petaled lotuses. Krishna decided to enjoy the auspicious atmosphere. Krishna saw that the stately trees were bending down to touch his feet with the tips of the branches. So he spoke to his elder brother. See just how these trees are offering their fruits and flowers to your lotus feet. And bees are worshipping you by following you along the path and chanting your glories. These peacocks are dancing before you out of joy, and the doe are pleasing you with affectionate glances. So Krishna is giving all of the credit to Lord Balaram. And the reason for that is this is Balaram. Balaram manifests himself as Krishna's land, paraphernalia. Everything is Balaram because Balaram is serving Krishna. So from the age of 5 years, 2 months, Krishna and Balaram were allowed to take the cows to the forest. And this is the celebration of Gopastami that we celebrate during Kartik Mas. So it's a little earlier than the 6 years because of this Agasur pastime, I presume. Yashoda Mai, before Krishna was allowed to take the cows for the first time to the forest, she wanted Krishna to wear shoes. But Krishna said, no problem, I'll wear shoes, but you'll have to make shoes for all the cows. So there's a lot of cows, right? 900,000, 9 lakhs. So that's times that by 4, 3.6 million shoes. So Yashoda Mai said, no, it's okay, you go. So he went barefoot into the forest. But the Gomatas, they could not tolerate that. So they grinded all the stone into sand so that Krishna would not be uncomfortable.
And that area is called Ramanriti.
Ramanriti. It's still there, the sand is still there. And the lesson from this, Krishna loves cows. He can't live without cows. He looks after cows. That's his eternal occupation. And this is really interesting how all of the devatas, the sages, are embodied into the body of a Gomata. Very interesting picture. And Lakshmi Devi is here as well, isn't she? She's the tail. Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go. Because every position was taken. She came to Gomata and said, hey, give me a position. She got the one position that was left, the backside. Very interesting. So there are 7 mothers. Gomata is counted as one of them. And one own mother, guru, the wife of the guru, wife of the Brahmin, wife of the king, the cow itself, nurse, Mother Earth. These are all our mothers. Very important role in our lives. Matri Devo Bhava. Each one of these is very important.
I know that shloka.
Oh, go and say it.
Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava,
Yes.
Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava.
Fantastic. Good boy. There's Krishna with the Gomatas, Krishna and Balaram. Such an amazing painting, this one. Krishna and Balaram. These look like more like calves. And should go in the other section. Krishna does Aarti to Gomata. We do Aarti to Krishna. He does Aarti to Gomata. The Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, he says, the essence of all Upanishads is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna is famous as a cowherd boy. He's milking this cow. So Arjuna is just like the calf. And the learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So this is very important for us to understand. Bhagavad Gita is such an important book for us.
This is a famous verse, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Translated, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarva Upanishadu Gavo, Dogda Gopala Nandana, Gopta Gopala Nandana. Two for the lines after that.
Okay, good. Well
Sarva
done.
Upanishadu Gavo, Dogda Upanale, Partho Vatsa Sudhira Bhokta.
That's the urgent bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the last line is there.
very good, Naniman. Well done.
I didn't know the whole verse, so that is not good.
But even knowing this is
Linking
part
the
of
two
it is
at
good.
least. Sarva Upanishadu Gavo, Dogda.
Even learning a part of it is good.
Okay.
Thank you. Fantastic. So this is the praise. So the praise of Balaram. This is Balaram being praised. And Krishna is
Looks like Gonita.
looks like Gonitai, but Krishna Balaram in the forest. So then Krishna continued, this earth has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet. At the most fortunate, and the most fortunate are the gopis that you embrace with your two arms. So this is a beautiful Vrindavan forest. In the summer, it looks a little dry. The monkeys are there. The peacocks.
Actually, these pictures are probably written down like 30 years ago.
Yeah. And this is a really nice picture as well. Painting, rather. Okay. Revealing their boyhood.
Roger, before you used to keep this background only.
Oh, good. Their boyhood, Pauganda phases of pastime. Krishna and Balaram were one day bringing the cows to pasture when they entered an attractive forest decorated with a clear lake. There they began playing sports with their friends. Sometimes Krishna would imitate the chattering of a parrot, sometimes with the sweet voice, the call of a cuckoo, and sometimes the cooing of a swan. Sometimes he rigorously imitated the dancing of a peacock, making everybody laugh. There you go. This is God. He always enjoying and playing with his close devotees. Krishna and Balaram and the cowboys would play all day long and they had great fun. One time they were playing hide and seek. It was Krishna's turn to hide. But wherever he went, the flowers would immediately blossom and the trees would bend to touch his feet. Therefore, he would be always found very easily. So he would lose and have to carry Sudama, his coward friend, on his back. Krishna would say to his friends that this is not fair, and he would sulk. And the friends would tease him that if he did not carry Sudama, he would not be allowed to play. Krishna would be watching his friends playing, and then eventually he would come out of the sulk and join them again. He would miss not playing, and his friends would miss him too. Sometimes with a voice as deep as the rumbling of clouds, he would call out with great affection the names of the cows who had wandered far from the herd, and thus enchanting the cows and the cowherd boys. So this is really phenomenal pastime. Remember, they had a lot of cows, 900,000, and he knew every cow by name. The cows were divided into herds by color, either black, white, yellow, or red. He had his pet cows, Mangala, Pingala, Ganga, Pisangi, Manikastani, Hamsi, Vamsi Priya. Krishna loves cows, so should we. He would call the cows with his flute. He'd have different tunes for different types of cows. Sometimes the cows would wander off, and they would do that on purpose. Krishna would call out their names. He knew the names of all the cows. they would love their names called out by Krishna. So they would run off sometimes and he'd call out, Ganga, Kalindi. And the Gomata would be so pleased to hear Krishna speaking their name. So they were naughty actually. Krishna knows, of course, not just all the Gomatas. He knows everyone, including all of us. He's in our heart. He knows everyone. Pretending to tire, Balaram laid his head upon the lap of a cowherd boy and rested as Krishna helped relieve his elder brother's fatigue by massaging his feet. Then Krishna also placed his head on the lap of a cowherd boy to rest. And another cowherd boy massaged his feet. In this way, Krishna, Balaram, and their cowherd friends enjoyed various pastimes. Sometimes Krishna would yawn, showing tiredness, and a cowherd boy would pop a flower into his mouth. And he would sometimes even eat that flower. They would all laugh and laugh. This is their wonderful, sweet pastimes. And this is the massage. Balaram is being massaged by Krishna himself. This is really phenomenal. Okay, so during this play, Sridham, Shubhal, Shoka Krishna, and other cowboys described to Krishna, Balaram Krishna, a wicked and irrepressible demon called Dhenuka, who had assumed the form of a jackass, a donkey, and was living in the Talavan forest near Govardhan Hill. This forest was full of many varieties of sweet fruits, but fearing this demon, no one dared to try to relish the taste of these fruits. And thus somebody had to kill the demon and his associates. Lord Balaram and Krishna, hearing of the situation, set off for this forest to fulfill the desire of their companions. Arriving at Talavan, Balaram shook many fruits out of the palm trees. And as soon as he did so, the jackass demon, Dhenuka, ran swiftly to attack him. But Balaram grabbed his hind legs with one hand, whirled him around and threw him into the top of a tree, thus slaying him. Lord Balaram threw the dead body of Dhenukasura into the tallest palm trees in the forest. And when the dead demon landed in the treetop, the tree began shaking. The great palm tree caused a tree by its side also to shake, broke under the weight of the demon. The neighboring tree caused yet another tree to shake, and this one struck another tree, which also began shaking. In this way, many trees in the forest shook and broke. Then all of Dhenukasura's friends, overcome by fury, rushed to attack, but Krishna and Balaram took hold of them one by one, swinging them around and killed them until the disturbances were finished. So this is Dhenukasura, and this is the petitioning of Gopas for Krishna and Balaram. Please kill this demon, only you can do it. And the Gopas have such great faith in Krishna. So this is Balaram shaking the tree, the fruits falling, and Dhenukasura comes to attack. At first, the demon, Balaram didn't say anything. He got kicked, but he didn't say anything. But then he gave him a big kick. Balaram threw him against the tree as well. This is when we were 10 months old. So why did Balaram kill this demon? Because normally it's Krishna who kills them, but Balaram killed Dhenukasura. Do you remember me? Because Dhenukasura represents ignorance of spiritual knowledge. And Balaram is the original guru who gives knowledge. So Dhenukasura, the remembering of this pastime of Dhenukasura, is allowing Balaram to come within our hearts and give us spiritual knowledge through our spiritual master. So this is the significance of Balaram. He was Dhanukasura is foolish, is ignorant. And Balaram can destroy that ignorance. And he does destroy his ignorance. And he can destroy our ignorance as well. Something here. Let's just go to the next page. This is again the same sort of picture. Okay. After the destruction of the demons, of course, what happened? All the other demons came and they were all given a beating by Balaram and Krishna. Everyone returned to the forest to enjoy the fruits. So the Brijavasis, they would enjoy the fruits. When Krishna and Balaram returned home, the cowherd boys chanted his glories. Lord Krishna's hair, powdered with the dust raised by the cows, was decorated with a peacock feather and forest flowers. Sometimes the Lord would come. He would be completely, he was black anyway, even more blacker. And because it was dark sometimes, the only way you could tell that he was there was by when he opened his eyes and smiled, because his white teeth would shine through. And that's how Mother Yashoda would recognize him. The Lord glanced charmingly and smiled beautifully, playing upon the flute. All the young gopis came forward to meet him, their eyes very eager to see him. Their mothers, Yashoda and Rohini, acting most affectionately towards their two sons, offered all the best things to them in response to their every desire. The mothers kissed their faces, fed them with finely prepared food. At last, the two brothers laid down with upon their excellent beds and happily went to sleep in the village of Vrindavan. And then finally, this last bit of this chapter, some days later, Lord Krishna went with his friends, but without Balaram, to the banks of the Kalindi, Yamuna, to tend the cows. The cows and the cowherd boys became very thirsty and they drank some water from the Kalindi. This particular part of the Kalindi was contaminated with poison and they all fell unconscious on the banks. Krishna then brought them back to life by the merciful rain of his clouds, and all of them regained their consciousness, appreciating his great mercy. So that's the end of chapter 15, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions, any comments?
Nani, well, the question to you asking who Mura was.
Yes.
Is Nabi was right. It's related to the Ekadashi Katha.
Okay.
You know, the if you remember, Krishna was fighting the Mura demon, and then he went into this cave and he went to sleep. And the demon also followed him in there. And there was a sage, so out of Krishna's body, the Ekadashi Devi came out and killed the Mura demon.
Okay. Okay. I think I heard about it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's part of the Ekadashi Katha. So that's where the Mura demon
Okay.
is.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, good. Any other points at all? Anyone like to say anything? Otherwise, Madhusudan Babu, are you with us? Or Kamakshi?
No, he's not. He just rang me to say he's not home yet. So I can just read through, Prabhu.
Yes,
If there's
please.
any Sanskrit, please do it for me.
There isn't any.
There isn't any today.
Okay, thank God. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Instructions so far for Canto 10, Chapter 14. Lord Brahma offers prayers to the Lord now that Krishna has freed him from illusion, and he thus instructs us as to how we experience many emotions due to our misidentifications with the body as being real, just as we would feel relief when we realize it's a rope and not a snake we are standing on in total darkness. Sorry, the writing is a bit too small for me. I'm struggling. Okay, Srila Prabhupada clarifies in this purport Discovering that we are actually an eternal soul within the body, we are naturally focused our attention on that real self. Those who are saintly and wise always cultivate Krishna consciousness, spiritual knowledge, having transcended the foolish misidentification of the body as the self. Such Krishna conscious persons go on to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who dwells within the material body as the super soul, the witness and the guide of every living entity. Chapter 15. The cowherd boys were eager for Krishna and Balaram to exhibit their pastimes of killing demons and to enjoy the delicious fruits of the Talak forest, and therefore they made the following request. We should understand that this request of the cowherd boys is motivated by love and not personal desire. Is that it? Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Very good. Srimad Bhagavad Puran.
I like the last sentence, Mataji, by motivated by love and not personal desire.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
so apt, isn't it?
Yes,
Mm,
we are all opposite.
yes, very
That's
true.
why we're suffering.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible.
Well summarized. Yeah, well summarized, you two.
Well summarized.
That's why we're suffering.
My husband, sorry, I didn't do it. I just read it.
Kamakshi, you have this knack of the one-liner, which summarizes it very nicely. So,
Oh, thank
very
you.
good. Very good. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So next week, hopefully we'll, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, definitely we're going to try to continue with the Bhagavatam, if I can get my act together. Thursday, there's some special appearances, and Friday is Kalki Jayanti. So should be very interesting. Thank you so much, everybody.
What is happening to Moira? We not heard from her at all.
To
Our
whom?
Moira.
Roma.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I always call her Moira. Yes,
Roma. Yeah, we meant to ring her. She's fine, but she was attending some Russian seminars, and they always clash with ours, you know. So
Roma is
but Roma she's good. I haven't spoken to her for about a month or so, but she's been good.
okay. I'm
So-
not here on a Tuesday. I'm here. I'm working.
Okay. We have. Oh, have we not? Oh no, not cloud. Oh no.